Saya dulu ya. Terima kasih Bu Kak Moderator. Bang Anindya, apakah bus-busnya diimpor? Kalau ya, dari mana dan kapan kita bisa membuatnya 100%? Kepada Kak Citra, bebas emisi itu misalnya jalan kaki, naik bus biasa dengan naik bus listrik. Yang mana yang bebas emisi? Terima kasih.
Okay, second question first.
Hi, my name is Nafil. I'm a concerned Gen Z. I have a question for Anindya, Anindya. So I just want to say that it is really encouraging and very hopeful that your company actually saved 5,500 tons of CO2 equivalents per year per 2.8 million kilometers. I guess my main concern and question is, how do you account for the leakage emission or the scope 3 emission? Because like as far as I know, that lithium production is actually emitting a lot of greenhouse gas in the in the upper hill of the your supply chain. So I'm just wondering about your scope 3 emission, and if you do have that, do you have like a independent validation and verification assessment that is being conducted by a third party? That's my question. Thank you.
And the second question is for Pa Anin, I think.
Sure. Thank you. I'll try my best to answer the question without being too long. So I guess the first one, if I'm not mistaken, about the buses, are we going to localize it here? Yes. So the whole idea is that in the beginning, we can use the technology. In this case, we work with BYD. BYD is a company from Shenzhen, but it is the largest EV company in the world. Warren Buffett invested since 15 years ago, 25% of it, so it's an international company. So the idea to start with the CBU, meaning as it is, but this year, 35% of it is going to be done locally, and next year is going to be 60%. We hope, starting from the following year, 75% will be done here. The only thing we don't make it yet is the battery. So we're going to do everything except the battery for buses and truck. Now in Magelang, we are in the process of making one of the largest, if not the largest, electric buses and trucks. So yes, we're going to localize this whole thing, because I keep saying, if you look at this Indian drama, since 50 years ago, nobody probably was here 50 years ago, right? You will see a lot of Indian truck called Tata. The same Tata, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, they bought Jaguar Land Rover. So you can actually become big from making truck. There's no one OEM in Indonesia making truck, let alone buses. Now, coming to a very good question from the gentleman. So I guess the question is, look, you may be doing good with wind energy, processing nickel-based materials, but how do you mine? Do you use ESG metrics, science-based and all that? Look, we believe that this is something that we want to do over time, not overnight, right? And it is energy transition, right? So the first thing we want to do is the end user device. So we want to try to fix that. We try, not going to be alone. We need a lot of collaborations with the electric buses and trucks, because they actually matter in terms of the CO2 emission. Then we're going to try to do, to solve the processing side using the renewable energy, because that's the one thing that a lot of people believe is needed. But the last thing we try to do is to do a responsible mining when we have the nickel mine in the process. So before you know it, the dream, right, this is not 1 year, 2 years, this is 20 years dream, is you have end-to-end supply chain that is zero emission, even increasing export from Indonesia to the world, whether the energy itself or the critical battery materials. Hopefully not too boring. Yeah.
Thank you. Pa Anin, maybe you want to add?
Short one. I agree with Bapak. I think on top of energy efficiency, we should also think about energy productivity. What I'm talking about is, it also depends on what you do with the energy, right? I mean, it's one thing about saving the energy, but as long as the energy is coming from, renewable energy, what you do with it is very important. That's why when we talk a little bit about this industrialization, it looks like a big, big word, but it's actually just trying to be productive with the energy you use. And a lot of times, you use technology to do that. And what I would like to say, all this EV ecosystem is quite long, and you can participate in any way. We talked a little bit from the mining, maybe for bigger corporations, and then you have the processing, and then you have the battery technology, that's very rocket science, but you can have the moduling packaging, you can have the OEM, recycling, and all of them, you just have to use one nickel. Then we start again with copper and everything else. So I think all of you should be, proud and optimistic, and all of the panelists over here, are here to make sure that the next generation will do the call to action. Yeah, thank you.